The protests in neighbouring Bosnia-Herzegovina continue. Frustrated with high unemployment and political inertia, protesters are seeking the resignations of the Federation's Prime Minister Nermin Nikšić and his government. The Federation government yesterday put into procedure amendments to the electoral law to push through early elections, with Nikšić saying that he will only resign after a new government is elected. Protesters have also called for resignations in Mostar, Travnik, Livno, Brčko and Gorazde. Late last night there was an explosion in central Sarajevo. There were no injuries and only minor damage was caused. And the unrest in Bosnia-Herzegovina was one of the issues discussed at a meeting of EU foreign ministers in Brussels yesterday at Croatia's and a few other countries' request. Croatia's Foreign Minister Vesna Pusic emphasised the need for an effective EU response, proposing that Brussels consider a pre-screening process so that the country could begin to make progress towards EU membership. Croatia, Slovakia, Poland and the UK expressed concern, while the EU High Representative for Foreign and Security Policy, Catherine Ashton, said that she would travel to Bosnia-Herzegovina next week. In the forthcoming budget revision, 3,200 million kuna will be secured to clean up debts in the health service. The majority of that money is meant for county hospitals. The director of the Croatian Institute for Health Insurance, Siniša Varga, told Croatian radio this morning that Croatia's hospitals were the biggest generators of debt. Croatia's parliament is continuing its session today with a report on the implementation of the National Strategy and Action Plan for Prevention of Drug Abuse for 2012. According to the report, measures being implemented are bearing fruit as the number of drug addicts in Croatia is dropping. In 2012, there were some 7,300 drug-related crimes committed in the country. State prosecutors and anti-corruption investigators are looking into the accounts of a hunting lodge in which Sisak Moslavina County Prefect Marina Lovrić-Merzel organised a wedding and which she also used for meetings ahead of county assembly meetings. Merzel was recently accused by her former chief of staff of drawing on county funds for her personal and political party's needs. In the Fimi Media trial, former Prime Minister and HDZ leader Ivo Sanader has requested that presiding judge Ivana Čalić be removed from his case. Sanader, along with the HDZ itself and 4 other defendants, are accused of siphoning off around 10 million euros from state-owned companies and institutions through a public relations company and into an HDZ slush fund. Sanader said that he had received information that in 2012, Čalić had hired his lawyer Goran Sujic to represent her in a marriage annulment case and that this prejudiced his right to a fair trial. Čalić said that the Supreme Court would make a decision on the appeal this week. Šibenik County prosecutors have filed an appeal with the Supreme Court against the verdict acquitting former Šibenik fire chief Dražen Slavica in the Kornati wildfire tragedy case. In August 2007, 12 Croatian firemen were killed while trying to put out a fire on the Kornat island. It was alleged that Slavica had been negligent in his duties. In sport, the Winter Olympic Games continue today with Croatia's Edi Dadic and Vedrana Malec competing in the men's and women's free sprint cross-country skiing event. Meanwhile, in tennis at the ATP tournament underway in Rotterdam, Croatia's Marin Cilic faces Lukas Rosol of the Czech Republic, while at the ATP tournament underway in Memphis, Ivo Karlovic faces Matthew Upton of Australia. This afternoon's forecast calls for cloudy and rainy weather with stronger downpours expected in coastal regions and sleet and snow in higher areas. There'll be sunny periods in the east of the country. In Dalmatia, there'll be a strong to gale force southeasterly Yugo wind, while on the northern Adriatic there'll be a northeasterly Bura wind, which will strengthen during the night. Temperatures on the coast will be between 10 and 16 degrees Celsius inland, between 5 and 10 degrees in western and central regions, and between 12 and 17 degrees in Slavonia and Baranja.